2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome on in. My name is Brandito. I'm joined by my co-host Mel, and this is On Beat Off Script with another album review. Today we're going to be covering Armand Hammer and The Alchemist's Mercy. But before we do any of that, Mel, how are you doing today? How's things going?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready to get into the heaviness that is Elucid?
I might be a little too happy today to talk about this.
Billy Woods and The Alchemist. Although The Alchemist isn't the problem, I think, on a lot of this. I think actually The Alchemist is the breath of fresh air that I think everybody needs. But yeah, we're going to be covering Armand Hammer. Armand Hammer is an American hip hop duo formed by Billy Woods, who we've actually covered on the on episode 10 of the podcast when we covered his other 2025 record, Gollywog, and Elucid. So, not to spend too much time kind of explaining who Billy Woods is, they're an experimental hip-hop king. Again, we've covered them on episode 10, so if you want a more detailed bio, you can go ahead and check them out there. Yeah, experimental hip-hop king out of New York that plays with some really abrasive sounds and content matter. It's dance imagery, abrasive lo-fi production. If you listened to Gollywog earlier this year, you'll understand pretty explicitly. And if you just wanted to listen to our episode of the podcast where we cover it, you'll also understand it pretty explicitly. You'll know who Billy Woods is, I can almost assure you. And we don't get too much of a departure from that as we move into Mercy here. But let's talk about Elucid, because we've never had the opportunity to necessarily talk about Elucid. Elucid, we have kind of covered on the podcast before, on that. They were a feature on that same Gollywog album, which was one of my favorite tracks on that album. It was Lead Paint Test, which I enjoyed a lot. We didn't do a bio of them then, but they are another East Coast hip-hop star from Queens. They've been active since 2002, dropping mostly mixtapes over the years before they dropped their debut solo in 2016, which is actually 3 years after they joined Billy Woods in forming Armand Hammer. So they actually didn't really kind of do a whole lot of their own solo stuff until after all of this. But yeah, they dropped their debut solo in 2016. Since they've dropped a couple critically acclaimed, drops amongst specifically East Coast hip hop. East Coast hip hop is a group that kind of sticks together. You'll see top 40, East Coast hip-hop albums of this year, and then this year, and then this year, and you'll see Elucid's name on there a lot. You'll also see Billy Woods' name on there a lot, and you'll also see Armand Hammer's name on there a lot. So
busy boys.
100%. And when it comes to East Coast hip-hop, they're the names. Armand Hammer came about in 2013, like I mentioned, dropping their debut mixtape Half Measures, and later that year, debut album Race Music. Since then, they've dropped albums pretty consistently, regularly getting praised as top rap albums of the year. Again, specifically with the East Coast hip-hop category, it's kind of hard to remove them from it. 2017's Rome was named that. 2018's Paraffin was named. All of those. And in 2021, they actually dropped their first collaboration with The Alchemist with their album Harem. So this is a rejoining. Now, who is The Alchemist? Who isn't The Alchemist? Alchemist, this was honestly difficult for me to even figure out where to start, try to actually take time into consideration as I go through all of this because I could do a whole hour-long podcast on just who The Alchemist is. But The Alchemist is an American producer, DJ, and rapper. He's a very sample-heavy DJ, pretty well noted as one of the most influential producers in hip-hop and experimental hip-hop specifically. He's worked with Eminem, Freddie Gibbs, Schoolboy Q, Earl Sweatshirt, and that's to name the least. Nas, Jadakiss, Prodigy, the names are insane. His discography is long, and it's almost always with a notable group or feature rapper on all of his works. He likes to make sure he's credited on every album because all of the production, he'll own all of the production. He wants to see that story from beginning to end with somebody who's going to do, the rapping and that kind of stuff. He curated the whole playlist and voiced the commentator for the radio station The Lab, which was featured in Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 5, which is kind of cool. His 2020 record Alfredo with Freddie Gibbs was nominated for Best Rap Album. His 2023 record with Larry June, The Great Escape, was one of my favorite hip-hop albums from 2023. He produced Meet the Grams, which was the diss track for by Kendrick against Drake that also went viral. Will apparently be working with Erykah Badu as a sole producer on her next album, which is really exciting because I love Erykah Badu. He's really kind of touched it all. It's not just hip hop. Like Erykah Badu is very much R&B. Like so, you're going to see some R&B production from them. Like it's just to even begin to dive into The Alchemist. If I wanted to go bullet point by bullet point, I could be here an hour talking about all the things The Alchemist has done. Kind of all over the place. Yeah, mentioning it in a podcast is just going to be impossible. If you want to learn more, go check them out. It would be worth it. I genuinely believe it will be worth it for you. As I mentioned, Mercy is going to be kind of a reaffirmation of Armand Hammer's notably strong lyricism with The Alchemist's Kingmaker level production. Pardon me.
You're so excited you're choking.
They find, and just finding ways to balance, like, obviously the strong production with, like, the emotional and explicitness of Billy Woods and Elucid's rap. But, Mel, did you have anything to say regarding Armand Hammer?
This was intense.
The Alchemist, before we go into the track by track.
Yeah. I was excited to see Billy Woods back because I really, really, really loved Gollywog. I did expect it to be intense. I think this was a different kind of intense. But yeah, I don't know. It was excited. I'll save most of what I want to say for us when we go through it.
Well, let's start everything off with the opening track, Laraji, and we'll let Billy and Elucid speak for themselves here.
Chicken heads come home to roost. No, it's not the same as Bluetooth. Empress new groove. Can't play it straight. Fangs dipped in gold. Screw face. Who knew? Like Palm Spring reparation. Pay more, be poor. That's just basic. Ain't no ambulance. Ain't no spaceships for no niggas tonight. Ain't no hell no. Hell no. Won't be no very special Negro show tonight.
What a way to start. I didn't know who Laraji or Laraji. Fuck me, man. I can't pronounce shit. I didn't know who that was. So I feel like I learned so much this entire album though. Yeah. And there's still so much to learn. Whatever was happening with that sound reminded me very much like a boing. I thought that was kind of wild. At points, I thought the vocals were coming off muffled to me, and I was struggling to hear what they were saying, which was kind of frustrating me because they have so much to say. And then there was a really, really cool thing happening where they were playing with, like, I guess, like, left versus right. So there's, like, a Billy Woods verse where there was like in the left, it sounded like it was literally somebody whispering from like behind me into my ear saying like, should have killed you when I had the chance. And it was so creepy. Like it like literally just made me so unsettled, which I was again kind of expecting after Gollywog because it was so like horror themed. Really cool opening. My only complaint was I thought the vocals were kind of like just getting muffled for me at points though.
You'll find that a lot more with like specifically with Armand Hammer than you did with Billy Woods specifically. Okay. Like that's like that does tend to be kind of normal because they're going back and forth between the two of them too, and so sometimes they want to kind of muffle themselves. I do think it's with intention because obviously they're both so production focused and The Alchemist wouldn't let something like that slide unless it was intentional.
Why I was confused by it too.
No, 100%. So obviously the really cool guitar sample that kind of like starts everything off. But like the repetition of that backtrack over and over again, it's like it feels like it's supposed to bust out and it doesn't like the whole time. It's a really cool experimental part. This kind of felt to me, this track felt like a preamble more than it did a standalone track. Like it actually kind of felt like almost a stage setter. More so, it's not quite as musical in nature as I think we should expect for the rest of the album. Turns out it was actually pretty similar to a lot of the album. as we kind of go through. But and then you have this nice little play out to Peshawar. Again, that's where Alchemist doesn't like other people touching his production. Alchemist is like, nah, like I've got reasons that I want to do things in a certain way. So Laraji actually plays out into Peshawar.
Like seamlessly, yeah.
Yeah, which we're gonna listen to right now.
Spit a watermelon man, see this slang editorial, you keep it. Hands of Chad secret, scan the crowd, don't ask me how for the last time beat it. 90 on the Loop Parkway, Robert Moses boosts the crime rate. Musty how the wine tastes, I ain't fake, without words instead, making iron shake. Flying past your head, watching prey, lion way. Friendly fires you don't know the half, don't make me a liar, I don't all we have.
If you really ill, let me see you build with no mortar. When you there on the ground, there's no border, no matter. It'll still be a slaughter. My aura matte black. Polaroid portraits in Peshawar, crushed scorpions. Gorgeous 16 echoing through valleys and gorges. God's gift, green as the prophet's cloak. Black tea with cardamom and mint. Tangents of hash smoke. A tree split by lightning, a glow from the wood stove.
This is up there as like a top 3 for me. It's hard to like rank these tracks in my brain just because of how, I don't know, intense and unique a lot of things end up being. But this was one of my favorites. I really liked how the instrumentals in the background went from that boing to that really twinkly, like piano. I thought all of the experimentation with the sound effects here, I thought were like top tier. I thought it was like they were really popping off. There was a lot of fun earworms happening. I really liked the outro, that like you're doing okay and you're gonna do better, felt like this manifestation of like, yeah, this sucks right now, but like we're really trying really hard to like hold on to hope. I don't know, intense, but I liked this track a lot.
100%. This was also one of my favorites as well. Yeah, the playing from Laraji was also, like, again, just top notch. The piano sample is dope. It's so good. That's Alchemist doing his thing. The cadencing of Billy Woods is so legit. This is right up my alley. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I've been looking for all year. I'm pumped that we got it. Personally, I prefer this over Gollywog, in my opinion.
Whoa, I'm the opposite, but...
Because, like, this is just, like, this is, you know, Gollywog has theme, and I can appreciate that a lot. I like this thematically more. It's not trying to be spooky, scary. Like, it's just trying to be intense. And I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a dope sample. It's got great lyricism on top of it. Yeah, and I did mention the recorded outros playing into the next spot is really cool too, and there's a lot of that happening throughout the whole album, which is kind of sweet. But that takes us into our first feature, where we pop into Calypso Gene with Silka and Cleo Reed. So let's go ahead and listen to a little Calypso Gene.
The river is the border is the river. Snipers watch me swim. 2.7 pounds of pressure on that trigger. Gauging the wind through narrow eyes. 3 sisters over the cauldron. Ode to autumn in an old notebook. I'm leafing through like Nas. Didn't recognize my own hand at first. Half surprised, it still leaves on the trees. I got half of mine to slide in the water. Let it carry me out to sea. The water gentle, the water deep. Nobody speaks certain things you just know in a dream. The hum of the engine, the thrum of the seat.
This was another one of my top 3. So we're in like a really peak part of the album for me. I really, again, appreciated the seamless transition. The dip me in the water is like so clearly symbolic of a baptism, but also becomes like that interlude, the dip me in the water interlude is so haunting to me that it's like what I feel like should be a cleansing just is feeling so dirty and gross. That piano happening in the background again, this one felt very disjointed for me, but like in a cool manic way, not in like a messy way. And you got that, my favorite line, snipers watch me swim, 2.7 pounds of pressure on that trigger. Like what an incredible way to say that people are just so quick to shoot. I thought that was just they're so witty and like so smart that I actually feel really stupid listening to them sometimes, but I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, honestly, this is the kind of more laid back and breezy beats that I really like from Billy Woods. So like this was a little bit more what I was looking for. I appreciated that spot a lot. Again, you get these really jazzy piano backtracks, and like I always love that. Like that's always gonna get me going. The rap is so dense. If you are going to listen to it once and think that you're going to get everything out of it, you're wrong. It's almost impossible. This is like every single time you listen to it, you're going to catch another note that you didn't realize was there. It's all with intention. It's all structuring. It's so formulaic, again, that just assuming that you're going to figure it out on the first take is stupid. Don't try. It's, yeah. Yeah, I love the off-timiness of it. This was another good track. Wasn't one of my top threes, but it was a really rock-solid track. I was a big fan.
Cool.
And that takes us over to Glue Traps with another feature with Kelly Chris. So let's give this one a listen.
It's hard to get out of bed when there's glue traps behind the stove, bulldozers in the olive grove, soldiers switching to civilian clothes. Every story tell a story that's already been told. Everything's dead and gone, we only had a name of the road.
Stretch a little, take a little more. Stretch a little, take a little more. Down today. With a little something on it. Getting over everything half price, what he told her. Shopping car rolled in, loaded down. Meat man pulling up in the lady barber. 3 sons on Fulton. Beef, pork, chicken, shrimp, work is work.
Whoa. Okay. Most of my notes on this one are specifically like lyrics.
Go for
because
it.
it's so hard for me not to like hyperfixate on them. Like I really like the line real money's whatever's in your pocket when you're broke. Like these thoughts sound like pumpkin spice for these boys. Made me giggle a little bit. I learned who Yakub was. So like, yeah, the plus most of these Yakubian products making dollars in the industry are just DEI hires. I didn't know what Yakub was, so I looked it up. And it's like the nation of Islam's mythology. Yakub was a black scientist who created white people through like selective breeding. So like the products they're talking about are white people. So flipping the DEI hire onto whites, I thought was just brilliant. The screeching tires in the background, I thought was a really cool touch. Or at least what sounded like screeching tires to me. It was the only thing I could relate it to. I don't know. Sick. Yeah. There's so many things to pick apart lyrically that I
100%. Yeah, so the P production here was a lot more lo-fi and grimy, which is a cool switch up from the last couple of tracks that had a lot of piano, jazz kind of influence and that kind of thing. The storytelling is incredible. It's dense. It demands attention. Alchemist does a really good job of staying out of the way with his production of what they're actually, like how their rap is going. Just setting the flooring, really, with what's about to be a warehouse of material on every single track. You know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate how Alchemist does that, and then how they utilize that space that Alchemist is leaving for them, you know? Try clipping it. It's impossible. It's so difficult to try to find a spot that is an appropriate place to cut off a clip and start a clip. They're spitting the whole time. I will say Kelly Chris at this point was actually a nice switch up from Billy and Lucid. Like, Billy and Lucid ratio Kelly Chris, but like it's nice to get a break where somebody breathes every once in a while. That was kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like, otherwise you feel like you can't. The exits to these songs and being like that, those radio interviews is really cool. It's pretty typical of Armand Hammer and The Alchemist. It's both of them. But I do appreciate that, like, we keep getting more and more and more of those as we kind of go through, which has been a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. And then speaking about white people, Scandinavia. I wonder what this has to do with. Let's listen to Scandinavia, fam.
It's all I ever did. After all, I'm no beginner. Might sell you a bridge, but it's no regrets when you examine the metalwork. Just say he's best. The arch like a lover's neck. From up here, hard to judge the water depth or guess which way it'll take the body.
1, 2, 2, check it out. Shitty might, but I ain't going back. My baby's face shining like new pennies. I never chase, I'm in my loafers. It's coming back, I promise. Everything you owed us. I never asked, and that was probably my fault. When she told me what she told me, I believe. Yes, I do indeed. It been hand to hand, the pocket sense, muscle memory, printing e-checks on Fulton, chicken in the bag with the chicken sandwich, Rick the run up on Mercer Flash.
Money you don't need, brother.
You're not gonna like me on this one. It's nothing bad, because like sonically they're still giving us like a lot of really cool earworms, but I'm starting to get over how slow we are, and I'm starting to get over the piano. Like I'm starting to think that like the piano in the background is becoming more of like a crutch, and I really want them to switch that up. And I feel bad saying that because it's so pretty, but like it's just been, I think, too much piano for me. What else do I have here? Oh, sorry, I got lost in my notes. I do think that what's happening with the beat is really cool, because it's just every time you think you know it's gonna hit, it doesn't, and it's just like it feels so like disjointed, and that adds like a cool texture. I thought the outro echoing like "I won't let you forget it" was really, really cool, and again we get that radio-esque outro. But overall, I'm still not like upset with anything. I just want them to switch up a little bit.
Yeah, you're not going to get that with them
No,
most of the time.
no,
Anyways,
I learned that.
yeah, so we have another deconstructed piano spot, and then reformed by The Alchemist. Because you got to remember, too, like, these aren't just direct samples. So, like, what Alchemist is doing is taking what would be a full piano track and cutting it into pieces and putting those together, right? So, like, this is a real song that already existed that we just don't know what it's supposed to sound like anymore, because it's just pieces of that cut up and like put all together and shit like that, which I think is amazing. Cool. It's super impressive. The stranglehold they take on the tracks is getting like daunting though at this point. I'm kind of with you on that. It's intimidating. It's we're getting this play back and forth between Elucid and Billy, and like you don't get any air to breathe like in between both of them like spitting in their spots. It's daunting. Like it is, the density is almost all the way there, and this is experimental East Coast hip hop, so like you know what you signed up for, and like these are two of the best at it. But I don't disagree. Like it's starting to get
like like this is intense to get through.
100%. No, 100% there with you. But then we get Nil by Mouth. So let's see if this changes things up.
In order to be free, I knew I needed a lever. Baldwin in Paris, my mind wanders, y'all might need a visa. Don't lose yourself out here, it's finders keepers. Crocodiles weeping while they eat your salty tears, all the sweeter. Friday night lights, cannibals fill the bleachers. Read them they last rites, feed them to the creature. Feed the monster, feed the meter. Might do a couple few features. Dead at night, open the deep freezer, bathed in light. My days is short like December in Geneva.
My first note is just this album is in all caps homework. Because I'm like Googling a lot. I didn't know that Madiba was like an honorary title for Nelson Mandela that he ended up receiving, but I know that now. For any of you who don't know that, you also now know that. Yeah, here I have a lot of respect for the lyricism and what's happening there, but like I am like, again, the pacing is slow right here, and I feel like I'm in a slump, and I don't want this to feel like a chore to get through, because I have so much respect for it. Like I don't want them to lose me, and I'm trying
they want you to
not finish.
Correct. Like straight up, they're just like, you should feel it. Like we want this to be a burn. You made it through Sumac and More Mother. You can make it through this.
I agree. Yeah.
So this started with a vocal sample this time, which was actually kind of cool. I appreciated that aspect of it. It feels like we at least have a moment to breathe in this one. They actually change up their cadencing a little bit, which was appreciated. You do have moments where you can hear Billy Woods actually like take a breath, which was a relief. They are human. The lyricism is just so intense. It's so strong. The Alchemist is masterful in allowing them their space, which I appreciate so much. One of the things that Gollywog lost on me was because of the exaggerated production, and Alchemist refuses to let that happen on this, and I personally appreciate that so much.
I really liked it in Gollywog.
It's too overproduced.
I get
compared
that.
To this.
It was just something about the horror tones throughout and how like over the top it was.
Yeah, you know, just because you like spooky. That's the only.
I know, but it really felt like a full experience, and I was so immersed in it that I I don't know. I thought Gollywog was a trip.
I like this. This is no dancing at the concert. This is you sit in your seat and we'll take all the air out of the room. Like I like that way more. I think it's a lot more intelligent. I think it's art. You know what I mean? That I appreciate lots. Not that Gollywog wasn't. Gollywog was absolutely art as well. But just
there's
very
like a little
ways.
bit of like, I don't know. It feels like a little bit sadistic, but I think that's also the intention. 100%.
Oh, for sure it is.
Yeah.
100%.
but it makes it hard to get through too.
Cool. But it's fine, because you're going to get a little bit of a reprieve here with Dog-Eared. So let's go ahead and listen. Featuring Kapwani. Let's listen to this.
Everything justified when you're starving, right? Hands of chance, buried lamps to not be spotted in darkest night. Twice, thrice, feeling spiteful. It's always where you going, and never just I'm right here with you. That's fair. Part of keeping your word isn't saying much. Three-legged stray expectation, lapping ankles under shaky tables. Change your tone, grab my things, I'm gone. I'm off, I'm mostly on. If not for you, then who's it for? I still will where I want. I'm okay with nothing, that's not my only problem. Numbers on the board, another mark in the column. Pardon.
In front of me, underneath, behind me, above me, in front of me, is what I see. Feel me.
Her feature was such like a breath of fresh air for me. I needed to switch up. Are those bagpipes happening in the beginning and throughout? Whatever it is, it reminds me of a bagpipe, and I think it's so cool.
I thought those were vocals.
Like
Just really heavily filtered.
in the back, really? Oh, it ended up reminding me of like a bagpipe almost. Something about how that builds up and how loud it gets, though. It was like, it was making me anxious, but in a way that I wanted to be. Like, if that makes sense.
100%.
And then there's that.
Because it wasn't as anxious as the last like 3 tracks in a row, too, at the same time.
It was a different kind of
This is
anxiety.
intentionally more anxious, but like it's different, and I'm welcoming it now.
Exactly. It was like, I actually really, really, really needed to switch up. And then the way that line, who I'm is, who I'm aren't, I don't know how he even raps that without like stumbling. And the way he said it just really stood out to me. I thought that was really, really impressive.
Well, you can't say most words apparently today,
not
so who
at
I'm
all.
is, who I'm aren't seems pretty
Can't,
next
nope.
level. Kapwani singing is like a wonderful reprieve on it. The backtrack feels positive, which is a huge change up. Like, but it is also really distorted and destroyed. I'll kind of talk about that in a second. It's hard to imagine like recreating what they do in the studio. It really is. It's like beyond intense, and there's not many people that I think could even do something like this ever. So it's hard to compare it, and it's hard to like, how do you rate something that nobody else really does? You know what I mean? I don't hear a whole lot of anything that's even remotely close to this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This track, though, specifically, this is one of my favorites. It has genuine melody, which was nice, even though it is distorted and destroyed. It's a really nice note to get at the midpoint of this album, which this is, I think, track 7 or whatever it is. So, like, out of 14 tracks, this is, like, genuinely the midpoint. But then the outro on this one gets really dark and starts to get really intense, and then plays into the next track, Crisis Phone. Let's go.
Born under warmth of other suns, no answer. You didn't call before you came, king's ransom. You don't want to know what's in the sauce. You wouldn't guess what's under the floorboards. Richmond, him and Hall, away from every known side, but still won't pay what it costs. A couple scar and a few more. Ball time, hold the door with the toothpick. 2 swords, 1 on each temple. All is welcome. I was fine with a dime sack of hydro and a bootleg smack DVD off Nostrum. 20 years came and went, my face on posters plastered with the ghost of ghetto past. Pour out a little liquor, date smudged on eviction notice if you notice. Extra out the picture, not the record. 1 for good measure, 2 for getting over. Closure.
What I really liked about this one is like we've had a lot of like disjointed beats happening, and I feel like I can't like bop along to it. And this one, there's finally like almost like a predictable beat happening, which like was a nice like break. I like the disjointedness. I think it's really, really cool. But to hear it over and over again, I want to be able to predict something every once in a while. And the line, "I wait for my time, I'm a stolen watch," I thought was sick. But
Yes, 100%. I like this one a lot. Sorry, I didn't mention it is featuring Pink Sifu as well. It starts off really dark. It's got this dark opening phone call at the very beginning of it, which was really neat. The beat's sick. The beat is so dope. I love that so much. It's a super cool song. The musicality of it is top notch. There's an actual chorus, so some actual song structure was also kind of a nice little spot. It might be one of the most approachable tracks on the album, which doesn't say a whole lot. But
you're right. Yeah.
I thought this was a dope track. This is my favorite track on the album. I love this track.
It's
that
actually
beat
probably
is
mine,
intense. It's so good. Like, it's the right balance of kind of everything without it being so intense that it's destroying me on the inside, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's okay, because we get another little break up too with the little Moonbow. Let's listen to Moonbow. I thought I had at least some rapping on there.
I guess not.
On that clip.
When I made this clip, Garrett overheard it and he was just like, "Is that a cat dying?" I was like, "No."
No, this is a pretty Kanye West style sample, obviously. Super, like, the high-pitch auto-tune solo opening is, pretty straightforward. The density of this track also relents a lot, because as you can hear, I apparently didn't have any of the actual rap in there. I think I might have typed in the wrong
Maybe.
thing. For sure I did, because I definitely had certain things that I wanted to
Or
cover
I
up.
read it wrong. Anything's possible.
That's also very possible. Either way, we're getting into the outgoing part of the record, which is kind of nice. So to again get a little bit of a relenting density, it feels really, really nice at this point. It is making you feel like there's a finish line, which is kind of cool. I think that this is one of the only tracks that I could show to people and be like, here, and get them into Armand Hammer. Like, this is like Baby's first Armand Hammer song, and because it gets too heavy from there to approach to people, and people are going to be like,
why do
Danny
you hate
Brown
me?
and JPEG Mafia had an album called Scaring the Hose, and it was because everybody thought their music would scare the hose, and all of Armand Hammer would scare the hose, except for maybe Moonbow. Moonbow is your only chance to not scare the hose.
I loved, there's the line, the people is fed from the palm of a tyrant, Michelin star, you died in silence, Civil War rattling, chewing and sighing. Like, shit was crazy. I didn't know who Pinochet was, which I'm just not like a history buff. So I learned a new dictator, which is sick. But I also thought, what a sick line to drop with everything that's going on in the States with SNAP benefits being ripped away from people. Like, our government is clearly okay with people being starved. So I thought that was just to draw a parallel to all of these dictatorous leaders and how they tend to treat people. I just thought it was really important. And I was a big fan of the vocals happening in the background. Thought those were cool. Yeah.
100%. Cool. Taking us over to No Grabba. Let's get the groovy lo-fi going here.
No grabber, nah, never. Let me just talk to him. No grabber, nah, never, nah, never. No grabber, nah, never. No grabber, no grabber, no. No grabber, nah, never. No grabber, nah, never, nah, never. No grabber, nah, never.
It's nothing like the slush they give you in the movies.
Crazy. I obviously highlighted that line. Like, I also love how it's just like it sounds like it's coming from like a vintage black and white movie, because it probably is. I don't know what the movie would be. I like the instrumental switch up here a lot. I really like how the song completely fades out at the end and comes back with like people. It sounds like just friends talking and playing basketball. Like the way they weave in those casual, like everyday life experiences throughout the album, paired with like these really, really intense lyrics, like makes me kind of, it puts it into perspective. Like, so many people are just going on life as usual when all of these crazy catastrophes are happening in the world. Like, the show must go on. You must keep kind of living your life. I thought that was just a really sick touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, again, super groovy lo-fi beat here, which is just right up my alley. I love it a lot. This feels like it gives you a little bit more space too, but the repetition of No Grabba is just so discomforting to hear over and over and over again. And then it breaks into, the 60s TV novella style sample, which was really cool. This is the sort of track that actually makes it feel like time slows down a little bit. One of the crazy things that I think about this whole album, maybe it's because of how dense it is, but it's definitely not because of like how enjoyable or exciting it is. In that sense, it makes time feel like really fast. I don't know if you felt like this, but like 45 minutes on this album felt like 20 minutes.
Once I got past, there was that little slump where I mentioned I was getting like,
I think that slump's like the fastest part.
Oh, that it dragged for me there. Once I got through it and we switched to, I think it was like dog-eared we switched to, and then it started to fly. Yeah.
No, I felt like that's where it goes by the fastest, because like that is like 10-15 minutes of the album that feels like 5 minutes, because it's so dense, it's so compact that like you can't really stop for anything either. It just goes.
Maybe that's why I had the opposite feeling, because I was like, I kept pausing too off and on because I felt like I was missing things, and I was like trying really hard. I was trying really hard to like follow along. And I do think I got to the point where I was like, I'm just not going to catch everything on this first listen. I got to let it go.
No, straight up. Yeah, that's exactly it. You need to just let it play and just catch what you can catch and then go from there. Because, like, it feels like this whole album, like, again, for 45 minutes, feels like it maybe takes half an hour. And that's with this kind of a track that I feel slows it down, because they're not so aggressively going at everything. So you feel like you can kind of sit back a little bit. I feel like it's the easiest way to blow by an hour is to listen to an album like this, because it blew through everything for me, because it's so packed.
Yeah.
There's so much that you don't think that you're going to catch everything. You're going to wish you could slow everything down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it feels like it goes so fast. This was one of those tracks that actually kind of slowed everything down, which I appreciated a lot. Like, it actually, like, yeah, you're right. I can actually like settle in a little bit more, which was kind of cool. I did like the closeout because it sounds like a basketball court. It was a cool take. I like that part as well. Yeah, this finally felt like I was able to catch up with time, and it was a cool track on that side of things. But cool. That brings us over to You Know My Body.
Oof.
Let's live.
Bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies. Everybody was somebody moments before their bodies was torn. Twist bodies like porn after echoing of guns and bombs is gone. Bodies sit forlorn, pitched amongst the bricks. Flung like empty purse after the mugging. Oh, look what the cat drugging. Still moving, piteous. Search the rubble for the slightest movement in the ruins. Secrets grow hideous inside the computer's bottomless pits for bodies to get dropped off in like Catkin Forest, a bitter harvest, a dollhouse of horrors.
Wow. Yeah. The nonchalantness of the flung like an empty purse after the mugging is so terrifying to me, but it's so spot on to basically the genocide that's happening in fucking Gaza. A bitter harvest, a dollhouse of horrors, and the tiny coffins that they're talking about earlier. It like really makes you think about how many kids specifically are being like killed, it's like so extra haunting. And that repetition of on bodies and how it becomes distorted and almost kind of like ebbs and flows in like pacing, like really just drives home. Like just I'm picturing just stacks of bodies on top of each other, and it just it really makes you think about it.
100%. No, yeah, it's re-changes back up into that lo-fi spot, but the beat stopped being so prominent on this one, which was kind of cool. I appreciated that. The use of the word bodies and then slowing it up but maintaining flow while you do it is actually kind of surreal. Like, that was really cool, the way that they did that. Like, that is difficult with how densely they rap. To be able to maintain time while slowing down your cadence with saying the same thing over and over again, it's just impressive. This kind of felt like a little bit of an interlude type track to go into like kind of the last act of the project, but it was a really cool one. The flow on it was really unique. It worked really well. I thought this was a really cool one.
It's hard to say it's like a favorite because of the content matter, but it was like a very successful track for me. Yeah.
100%. And then we go into Long Johns featuring Callie Chris and Cleo Reed, two people that have already been on the album so far. Let's listen to Long Johns.
We just won. They said we gone, but we're not done.
Remember when I woke again, I saw my storm. She was a friend of her work, so it never ends. We woke up just to play pretend. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. I'll be right there, we'll make amends. Remember when I woke again, I saw my storm. She was a friend of her work, so it never ends. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
Wow. She made me so anxious, but I loved it. This one felt so chaotic and manic, and wow.
Yeah, it's a complete change up beat wise, which I thought was cool. The big band's horns popping in and out and away, and it was cool. You got some sound effects that are really unpragmatic, which is a really different kind of take for Armand Hammer and The Alchemist, which I thought was really cool. Cleo was a really nice touch. Like, it's such a heavy album that Cleo feels like such a breath of fresh air, which is not saying a whole lot. Even
when she's sounding crazy and like anxious, it's still like a nice breakup. Yeah,
for sure. The features have been critical on this album. They really have been. Another cool track. This one was a little bit more middling for me, but maybe it's just because now I'm in like a certain headspace on our way out. But yeah, let's keep going to California Games with the Earl Sweatshirt.
Clandestine handgun, view to a kill, substar confession. Where ocean kiss canyon, every knee a nail from where I'm standing. Gutted, built to spill, wild without abandon. I don't pocket watch, I dig my hands in. Swiss movement, engraved in Sanskrit. Genie in the bottle, dirty dancing rancid. Take off my pants one leg at a time, too. Done scrambling, make it move, talk slanting. Maybe 2 or 3 more weak niggas you ran with.
We've taken enough break from like the jazzy piano that I actually really appreciated that it was back. And I feel like we're finally getting kind of like that switch up consistently that I was hoping for in the beginning, where like now I don't know, like the beat and the I guess just like the pace of the song doesn't feel like it's slogging as much as it was for that little part in the album before for me. But.
I thought the backtrack on this one was sick from The Alchemist. It's lighter. The soul vocals again coming out. This is a good way to come into the closer, I thought, in my opinion. Earl actually owns his spot on this track, which is great. I really appreciated Earl's spot. Again, it's really dense, but you have like things like the reeds and stuff like that help make this track more than just kind of the burn that Elucid and Billy has been punching us in the knees with until now. You know what I mean? So that was kind of a nice little breakup. Yeah, I enjoyed California Games a lot. It was a cool one.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Cool. And that takes us into the single of the album. And the final
track. They would
track.
make this the single. That's mean.
100%. Well, this is for sure.
I had no idea. That's so fucked up.
This is the only single from the album. Let's listen to Super Nintendo.
We
Had fun on that Super Nintendo.
Sunday services blew church out the window.
We was done, finger guns to our temples.
We had fun on that Super Nintendo.
Tiled the door, blew church out the window.
We was done, finger guns to our temple.
We had a time, don't let them say different. We was drunk and high watching Intervention. We was just happy to be outside when our peoples was in prisons of all types. We was just living. It's easy now to talk about wrong and right. We was just living. It's easy now that you know the price. We was just running and ripping. Hands full of life. It's hard to explain if you...
Wow, what a bait and switch to use this as the fucking single. I actually can't get over this. I loved how digital this one was, tying into like the Super Nintendo. I want to go back to Super Nintendo times 2, bro. That would be great. The Sunday services blowing church out the window, I thought was such an incredible double entendre because it's like a weed strain, and like they're probably being forced to go to church every Sunday growing up. So like blowing church out the window made me laugh. But the finger guns to our temples, I like how we're being a little bit nostalgic and not technically like lighthearted at all, but in comparison to the rest it is. But I like how there's still the reminder of like a violence here that's been carried throughout the entire album. So like it's still heavy and your themes are still there. You're just like trying to maybe find a little bit of an appreciation for an easier time. I don't know, but yeah.
100%.
Cool
No, this was the single for the album, obviously, which is crazy because anybody who listened to this was like, hey, I kind of want to hear a little bit more about that. Yeah, you're not going to get any more.
Wow.
You're not gonna feel very good about it.
You're gonna hate your life.
Yeah, I love the fact that they used the Super Nintendo's the 16-bit track, which was kind of cool. It's a cool ending track. I get this being the single, but it does not provide good insight for the density that the rest of the album's gonna have, which honestly is kind of funny. I actually think like it makes it more entertaining to me and probably to them too, where they're just like, no, you're gonna listen to all of us, and then when you get to the song that you liked, it's the end of the album. It's not just that it was the single, it's the last track.
They're proving their sadistic tendencies here with
100%
that.
100% are. They're just like, we're gonna make you sit down and listen through the whole album before you can get to the track that you even bought the album for in the first place. That sounds so polar different from everything else. It's remarkable. It's just a nice ending game sort of vibe on this one too. It wasn't my favorite personally, but it was in the top picks for myself. I think there was other stuff that I thought was more important than this one, and I think that's kind of the point that they were trying to make with making it a single. Is cool. You came for this one. It's one of the least important ones, so you're gonna sit through the whole thing before you get to your thing.
Yeah, I do really appreciate it. It's like they get the attention on them, and it's like, okay, but we got some shit to say, so you have to listen to it now.
100%. It's no different than you're always gonna get an encore, and it's always gonna be everybody's favorite song at a live performance, right? Like,
right.
But we're gonna make you listen to all of our new stuff and fall in love with that before we do that. You know. Yeah. It's with intention.
I appreciate it more now, actually. Yeah.
100%. Cool. So, Billy Woods and Elucid as Armand Hammer and The Alchemist, Mel. How did you feel about Mercy?
What a listen. I was blown away by them lyrically, which I was expecting. Like, after listening to Billy Woods' Gollywog, like, I was expecting it to just be, I don't know, like, a genius. I was expecting genius. I do feel like I need to spend a lot more time with this album. I only had time to give it one like full listen through, and I'm definitely missing a lot. I did mention like the beats let me down at points. I just thought like there are certain things that were kind of like getting old and overused, and I didn't want to be bored. But it was like kind of boring me at a point. They did win me back though. That slog it was literally like 2-3 tracks and then I was over it. I have a lot of respect for this album. I can't say that I love it, but I don't think you should love it. Like, I don't think it's like, I think it's an incredible piece of art. I think if anybody truly said that they love it, that they've got something fucked up in their brain. I gave it a solid even, like 8 even, because I think it's really incredible. I just don't know how much time I can spend with it.
It's another really unique take from Billy Woods and his boy Elucid and The Alchemist. I read a review from Paul Adder at Slant Magazine that said like this record elicits respect more than it does excitement.
Spot on.
And I think that that's pretty much exactly the way that you need to describe it. It's dense, it's heavy, which is becoming more and more the norm for Billy Woods. Like Maps was nowhere near as dense and heavy as this was. Did you ever listen to Maps?
I did listen to Maps, and
it feels so much more approachable compared to these last couple of albums. So like, I'm waiting for like a little bit of a Maps Billy Woods to come back.
Yeah,
and
can you just stop punching us in the face a little bit?
but dude's got things to say, which is fair. I can't really be mad at him for that. You can say it's not for you, and for most people, like that's absolutely correct. On that same note, to listen to the prose and the themes and how dominant like this album portrays both of those things, and not completely agree with the talent it takes to do all of that in the commanding way that they did, would be insane. Mm-hmm. I'll personally listen to this again. A lot of people will find it too aggressive and abrasive to listen to it again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's okay. I really think it just commands an initial listen no matter who you are and how you like to listen to music. Just maybe take a deep breath before you start it, because there's not going to be any oxygen left in the room by the time you're done.
Yeah.
That's really kind of what it was. I gave it a 7.7.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was there.
I was floating between, like, I respect it so much that I still let it get to the 8 for me. But I agree with you 100% on everything you just said. Yeah.
It's a lot to take in, but I'm sure everybody else out there in the internet world has different things to say than we do, and we'd love to hear them. So throw them in the comment section. Are we right? Oh, yeah. Are we wrong? How do you feel about our takes? Did Billy Woods hurt your feelings? Because there's a good chance he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what your thoughts were. Again, I'm Brandito. This has been another on-beat, off-script album review. This is fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's Mercy by Armand Hammer and The Alchemist. Like I said, I'm Brandito. This is Mel. Let us know how you felt in the comments, but otherwise, we'll catch you around.
Mwah!
Peace. 3, 2, 1.